Welcome to the Toilet Talk Podcast.
Doing everything out of it. As you might have heard, if Kieran did this correctly, he did our intro. Our intro. It's different now.
Spook.
We have no idea what it is because we haven't heard it.
And he's a
But
madman.
you know, but we
Which-
don't.
We don't.
Exactly. We're
Yeah.
ignorant right
We'll
now.
hear it eventually.
You're smarter than us for about like
Yeah.
a couple days.
I hope you were
It's
scared
like
by it.
having hind sound,
Yeah.
right?
Hind sound.
Hind sound.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, we're all over the place and we're not prepared for any of this bullshit though.
Off the cuff. That's what we do.
Yeah, we're off the cuff.
We have cuffs.
Actually, do today have cuffs?
Oh, look at that.
Okay,
Look,
my guy
you
has
going
cuffs.
somewhere?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
No, this is my casual. I was
Oh, you
actually-
just came back from church.
No, fuck that. I don't go to church.
I don't do that. I don't do that job
I was
shit.
thinking about it on my drive here. I'm like, this is like my casual button down. Like this is like I treat this button down like it's a hoodie. You know what I'm saying? Like I throw it on any day. I don't care.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's my generic fucking hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where I got the shirt. I didn't buy the shirt. I think someone gave
Oh
it to me.
shit.
And
I
hated it
have
at first.
clothing
Isn't
like
that
that.
how it is 90%
One thing-
of the time with your
I
casual
think,
wear?
you know,
Yeah.
I think there's reverse duendes, you know? They give you shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that recently.
Because shit just pops up in my wardrobe sometimes.
I
I'm
found
like,
two
where the
pairs
fuck
of
did
jeans
this
I
come
didn't know I had.
from? Yeah.
It definitely happens.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. It's a
Yeah.
barrier ghost or something that does that.
Well, speaking of duendes, I guess that could be our first creepy topic of the day.
All right, before we get to the creepy topic, well, this is like still kind of horror-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you heard of all the stuff about the Joker movie?
No.
Not necessarily the movie itself, but
About
like,
people being paranoid about there being shootings?
yeah,
Yeah.
and like a lot of movie chains are putting security, or if they had security already, increasing security because they're afraid of.
Edgy white people.
Yeah, I mean that's who it is. Really, let's be honest. That's who it is.
It's so stupid.
It's stupid that they have to do it, but I understand why they feel the need to increase security because
Edgy white people.
shit, it's crazy.
I don't understand the association because you got to keep in mind the Joker isn't fond of guns. He's used them obviously in some
Do you
portrayal.
think motherfuckers that commit acts actually are like
No.
comic book accurate? Like,
No.
holy shit.
That's not what I'm getting.
He never
That's not what
uses
I'm.
this type of chemicals.
That's
like-
not what I'm getting at. All right, so guys who were inspired by Columbine.
Also, that's not true. He does use guns. That was the thing in the movie. That was the thing in the Dark Knight where he said that like I don't like to use guns because they're quick. That motherfucker uses guns.
No. I seen the comics.
Yeah.
I seen many panels. I'm not gonna say I read them because that'd be ignorant. But he's not as fond of it as he is using gas or slower methods.
I mean, yeah, but still, when push comes to shove, he don't use the gun.
oh yeah, he'll use it.
There's also been actual like threats too.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's
Anonymous threats, obviously, but,
Incels coming to
yeah.
movie theaters.
it's funny how you mentioned this because I'm sure you knew that the shooter in Florida at that high school, dude had like 43 times they called in
yeah.
that he was a threat.
Mhm.
They didn't do a goddamn thing about it. But now that they're talking about movie theaters, it's somehow a problem. So this is the kind of thing I'm getting at. People are quick to take action when it's sort of like a private establishment. But the moment like the government entities involved, they just act stupid. Like the kid wasn't gonna fucking shoot up the place.
Or even more than it being a private thing, I think it's the fact that it helps the narrative of violent movies and video games contribute to this. So it's like, yo, we have to put the security because if it wasn't for the fact it's a violent movie,
Yeah.
it would never be a shooting. Like, that's not the case.
You
It's
saw that
just-
thing too with Joaquin Phoenix? He was in an interview and they asked
He
him.
walked out.
Yeah, he walked out.
He walked out. That was a good reaction.
Yeah.
Because
Very professional on his part.
Yeah, him getting loud would have just hurt the conversation.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. Someone brings up a topic that's like, I've been telling you I'm not going to comment on this. Just walk out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't they should probably mention that the people from Empire didn't do it when they asked about Jussie Smollett.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Juicy Smollett.
Juicy Smooth.
Oh, man.
Yeah, everybody was
Going
like
back in
they
time
just-
on this episode.
Yeah, everybody
people up.
who's an actor, what would you say, coworker, I guess.
Yeah.
But they would refuse to comment. They
Mhm.
just say no comment.
And,
Better that way,
themselves.
honestly, because I think you fuck yourself up if the more you speak.
Yeah, you're better off not. It's like Dave Chappelle said. They were supporting him with their silence.
Yeah. But I never, like, I have tickets to see Joker. I honestly, until I saw the stuff, like, in the past few days, I didn't even think about, like, oh shit, people might do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'm gonna have to make
I
sure
saw the
to-
Dark Knight Rises, like, midnight showing. And when we got out of the theater, that's when we saw the news about, oh, there was a shooting in Colorado. Like, oh shit. So, but even then, I didn't realize to connect. Oh, wow, some crazy shit might happen again this time.
You think here, though? I doubt it here.
Like here, like where we live.
Yeah.
On the East Coast, Upper East Coast.
I mean, no, but
Yeah.
a lot of people think that, and then it happens.
That's true.
But
It'll never happen to me.
it depends. If
I mean, the reason I see it happening
if
is
the person has a gun, I have no chance. But if they have like a knife, or
A broadsword?
I
a claymore.
I always have a knife on me when I go to the.
coming
Yeah.
with a Japanese
in
katana.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, you can't stab all of us at once, right?
You
Put
can't-
someone onto his sword while he's trying to dislodge it from their body. That's what
You
you
should,
take.
you should
Yeah.
start beating his
That's what you
ass.
take
Give
it,
him,
man.
give him a good old
That
New York
person
ass
died.
Oh,
whooping.
trust me, that
So
sword's
others
breaking
Yeah,
after the first fucking stab.
that person died so that others may live. The
Yeah.
hero
He's a hero.
that I pushed onto
Yeah,
him.
they should put him in the movie.
I made them a hero.
He's an involuntary murder.
Involuntary hero.
It's the best kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
He was called on and he served his duty.
You remember that Jesus guy? He didn't want to get crucified.
But
But
all right,
yes,
let's talk about
this episode will
creepy
be
stuff.
released in the month of October, and this entire month is spooky. Kieran, make that spooky sound cool.
Spook.
Spook. Yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, yeah. This whole portion, fill it with like creepy sounds. Yeah. 'Cause-
All right, so
yeah.
you guys are the paranormal
Paramount Boys
investigators.
and we were prepared. We were gonna do this whole thing where we did shit, but we didn't. So,
Let's talk more about stuff we were gonna do.
well, we spoke about duendes earlier,
was
and
gonna-
to anyone that doesn't know, which I'm sure
I don't know what that
you don't know what the fuck
Nope.
that is. Yeah, Alex, care to explain?
Duendes are basically dwarves
Okay.
that they walk around your house and they cause minor inconveniences. They take things like your keys or your phone or something, and they would hide it
Mhm.
and put it back at a later point. So they would
They're mischievous.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're mischievous
Okay.
in a very minor
Kind of
way.
like South Park, those gnomes that steal socks. You don't know? No.
If you guys can see my face, it's silence.
Oh,
My
yeah.
face is
Okay.
silence.
All right. Well,
I don't watch Star Park.
similar.
All right. Oh, I was reading a comic. I don't know the name of it, but when I went to a comic shop recently, this guy, I was like, "Yo, pick out a comic for me and for the guy that works there," and he likes horror stuff. So he's like, "Oh, it's about to be October. Let me pick this one." It's like a 3-issue miniseries, and they encountered this like not dwarves, but like smaller creatures that are humanoid still though, and
More like goblins then?
kind of, yeah. And their thing was mischievous too. Like they hid stuff and played little pranks, but nothing harmful.
Okay.
But the humans that went to the swamp to investigate paranormal stuff, they didn't realize it was like they were just playing pranks. And
They thought it
accidentally-
was like deathly terrifying.
yeah, and they killed one of them, and they didn't even realize it was a child of that species. And so then,
Revenge takes place, right?
yeah, they were placed in quicksand.
But yeah, they're actually
Should be
videos
called
of
slow sand because it takes a while to sink.
they're actually videos of fucking duendes,
But,
and they're. I guess you could say they're quite creepy, but at the same time, I'm very skeptical of them. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen them, right?
Yeah, I've seen the videos.
They're always like these fucking 144p videos.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of-
and they're all from like
Yeah.
Central and South
Central,
America.
yeah.
Obviously.
So like they're slow
Which I feel like
frame rate.
to the uninitiated, they'll think, "Oh, these motherfuckers don't know how to use editing shit," and I'm like, "No,
You'd be surprised. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they
These
fucking do."
Just know this: if you guys ever recall Dragon Ball AF or Super Saiyan 5 Goku, those fake arts from way back in the day,
Oh, it looked
they
like-
were
yeah.
perpetuated by Central and South Americans.
Yeah.
It was like the Hispanic community in Central South
Mhm.
America perpetuated the fake Dragon Ball sequel rumors, and they were very successful at it because people bought that for years. Until Akira
And
Toriyama
now-
said, "Nah, that ain't it."
They've taken their talents to the paranormal.
Yeah. But as far as like the super origins of duendes, I have no idea. I guess we have to do more research. Shit.
It probably has European origins.
You think
Honestly.
so? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it carried over
Yeah.
to
For some reason, it is a bit creepy to
the
me.
Americas.
Yeah, because in Europe the little humanoids,
Mhm.
because there's a bunch of them, they're all more mischievous.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're like way more. Some of them are like pixies are fucking evil. They're very fucking evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only, well, not pixies.
I think dwarves are the only ones that are like regular people, so they have they're all individually different.
Are pixies
know.
different than fairies?
Yes,
Okay.
Oh shit!
fairies are also evil.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, real fairies are actually evil too.
We need
I
to
believe.
come prepared next time and.
Yeah, it's used. This is not me. This is them. They're all into paranormal shit. So I'm supposed to be the audience right now, where they tell me stuff and I
Yeah.
react, and they have not come correct. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Try to,
surface level shit, but just not in details.
I'm gonna try to get them going.
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing I know about fairies, not even know. My favorite depiction of fairies were the ones in Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Guillermo del Toro
That's a good movie too. It's very, very creepy movie
with
as
the
well.
fawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very.
Is there a difference between like mythology and the paranormal stuff? Like
Well, I feel
there's
like
a lot of overlap.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's
There's a lot
definitely
of
a lot of
overlap.
overlap because I'm pretty sure fairies and shit come from
It's like a Venn diagram
Is
where it's
there
like in the
somewhere?
middle, there's a lot of overlap, and at the same time, they all have their.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
own
they're
things.
individual like characteristics that are different.
Yeah.
So let's say werewolves, right?
Mhm.
We consider those fiction,
Right.
But then we have the berserkers of Norse origin,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
true.
where they are very similar in the sense that they take on the mantle of an animal
Mhm.
and spiritually become it as a fighter.
Okay.
So that's where you have like the myth and the real existence of these things. Of
Okay.
like people, you could call it paranormal because people would actually like they claim
Mhm.
that people will get abnormal strength just like those
The
animals.
durability, yeah.
Yeah. Like the berserker took on the form of any other animal. Specifically, the wolf was one, the bear was another one, and these are powerful creatures in nature that they could easily just rip off your neck at any moment.
I don't think
So-
that would be comfortable if I was.
Getting your
Yeah.
neck ripped off?
I don't think I would like that.
Mhm.
Honestly.
I don't like
Yeah,
it
it
either.
sounds very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what you do? You do actually live a few seconds after decapitation.
Yeah.
Briefly see your shit.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
As soon as enough blood leaves your head, it just starts rotting, and
Yeah.
that's when it just like releases all the dopamine, so you don't feel a goddamn thing.
Jesus.
What are your last words with your head off?
Oh, this. I mean, to talk about more
I love anime titties.
horror-ish stuff, but it's in my wheelhouse. The Last of Us, Part 2.
Mm.
Didn't it get postponed or something like that?
Watch your whore mouth. The release date was announced February 21st, 2020, Anno Domini. And for anyone who doesn't know The Last of Us, it is, I mean, you can say it's a series now because now there's a second game where it's sci-fi horror, but very light on the sci-fi. I say sci-fi simply because its premise is that this cordyceps fungus that actually exists in real life, in the game world, it transfers over humans. And what the cordyceps does, it can, as any infection almost does, it tries to propagate itself. So in this case, it takes over an ant, and it can cause the ant to perform functions that it normally wouldn't, or actions that it normally wouldn't, including suicide, and have ants kill itself in order to carry over to other members of their colony. And in the game, it happened to humans, and so they're not zombies; they're just regular infected, whatever. But it has one of the best stories to date in any video game, and the new game is leaning even more into the horror aspect,
Oh, shit.
and they've cut out the multiplayer component just so they can focus even more on the single player. And
Spook.
I guess talk about like horror stuff. You know that I think we talked about it before. Not talked about it, but mentioned it. The U.S. government actually does have like a zombie
Mm-hmm.
readiness plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I definitely think zombies in one form or another could happen. Maybe not in the traditional hoodoo and voodoo way. You know,
Mm.
Yeah,
that's where
yeah.
it started. But like maybe in the infection that causes people to react differently than they normally would. in
For the
raid virus.
Yeah, for the uninitiated in biology,
Uninitiated.
it's very common for a disease to mutate to go from species to species.
Yeah.
An example of a recent one we had that was well documented was the swine flu H1N1,
Mm-hmm.
which was originally supposed to be able to propagate among swine, but at one point it mutated and it got to one of the farmers in I believe it was Mexico. And after that, nobody realized what it was because it's literally brand new, never happened before.
Right.
And we had these cases of people near death or dying because of it, and it turns out it wasn't that complicated. It was just a flu. But look at that. Look at how much damage that did, and it was just a simple flu.
Right.
Now, let's extrapolate that to something like the zombie fungus that Micah mentioned. There's actually another example of zombie deer, where they basically exhibit the same symptoms as a rabid animal, where they will try to get as many bodily fluids out of its body and onto other people as possible. They'll
Yeah.
be drooling, they'll be causing their own lacerations so they can bleed a lot, and other things like that. And then they'll also try biting, of course. And it's like, it's fucking terrifying just knowing that, because even if it doesn't turn you into a zombie, there's still a possibility that it could transfer a different infection and fucking kill you.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
it's still terrifying, and especially when you add the science element too.
That's why I always like sci-fi horror more, because me, I'm a science fiction guy more than like the paranormal stuff and stuff like that. There's like possible. It's like, oh man, like anything that can infect you to you're prisoner in your own mind or body. Oh my gosh, that actually freaks me out.
You guys know about the African zombies?
No, I
You
don't
mean the
think-
ones in Haiti?
Is it in Haiti?
I know it's from the African voodoo, like
I feel
the
like it
voodoo
was-
hoodoo
yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I know in Haiti it's like pretty well documented.
Yeah. Well, because I think it originates in Africa. But I'm not sure. Okay,
Yeah, it probably does, because a lot of like traditions of the Afro, what'd you call it? Afro European
Sure.
mixture of people
Let's go with that.
will always be derived of the African
Yeah.
religion and then have a little bit of the European on top. For example, Cuban Santeria is basically a lot of the African traditions, but they inject a little bit of Christianity into it with things like your what are they called again? The saints.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain saints in Santeria that are supposed to be your protector, and you're supposed to basically take a vow to not do certain things. So it's like, oh, I'll never wear a white shirt on Sundays or something like that, and that's how your saint protects you.
Okay.
But
Things like that.
in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
what they do is they take like dead people and they do some kind of fucking ritual on them and bury them, and then a couple days later they dig them up and they're alive.
Yeah.
But what happens is that before they're dead, the person actually puts something in their body to make them appear dead.
Okay.
So I guess you're in like
The
a
Romeo and Juliet type.
you're like in a state of
near death.
near death,
Yeah.
but there's no visible way to prove, you can't
Almost
tell.
like a medically induced
Yeah.
coma.
And people actually have actually died from that because like they buried them alive.
That's
so
awesome.
obviously,
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus,
but
that's brutal.
it's fucking bizarre and creepy as shit seeing that.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
that'd be cool
and they do shit like that
to
and-
watch, not to experience. I don't want.
Yeah, that sounds fucking terrifying.
Yeah, can you imagine being buried alive?
No,
You ever seen that movie with Ryan Reynolds?
it's a good movie.
Dude,
Yeah.
I remember one time I got locked in a storage closet, and I was like, never again.
Is that a
Imagine in a coffin that has way less movie.
thriller? Is that a horror? Is it a thriller? I don't fucking know. But yeah, it's a good movie. Buried.
I think it'd be a
called
thriller. I
Buried.
think it'd be a thriller.
Yeah, thriller, right? Yeah. All right. What about favorite horror movies? You don't have to be straight horror. It could be like a mashup.
I don't know. That's
I
so,
think it was
I
called
feel
Tear-
like the topic is always so hard for me because like
Yeah.
there's so many good ones.
Listen,
I feel like it has to be
it's
like.
just-
I mean, I guess we could just talk about a few.
I mean, if I'm gonna say impact in my life to the point where I basically covered my eyes and ears and just started crying, it'd probably be a movie called Tears of Kali.
It has to be some weird shit. Okay.
Of course, it's some weird shit.
No, literally, dude, I got it at Blockbuster because I was like,
Blockbuster. Take
Yeah.
us back in time. man.
Yeah.
Look this up.
at one point in
The
history,
year was. You have to explain Blockbuster to people because,
Oh right, yeah.
in a universe far away, a long time ago, there was this thing called Blockbuster. It was essentially a service where you could rent or purchase physical media to put into your DVD, VHS,
Mm.
or Blu-ray player.
boom.
And if you were like, super rich, Betamax. yeah. So you were able to get the physical media, rent it for a indefinite amount of time, with fees, of course.
Was indefinite, but okay.
It was indefinite because you could just
Indefinite
argue at the
that you can hold
counter
on to.
and you get no
Okay,
fees.
yes. That's like saying a rental car is indefinite. Yeah, nigga, I can hold on to it if I want to. But
At one point, I'm gonna be across two states. I have 3 warrants. But yeah, you get the physical media. You could hold into it for. It was typically a week or a weekend. Those were the two kind of like
Yeah.
common rental intervals, and then you return it. So it's a regular old like how you would rent almost anything. You hold on to it for a little while and you just return it.
Such a magical place.
It was a magical place because that's how, what I used to do. I used to get games that I already had that had a scratch of disc and just swap
Swap
them.
it out.
And then eventually, when they realized everybody was doing it, they would put stickers on the disc. But it's like, no, I have a hair dryer.
It's that German horror movie.
It's a journal. Oh, okay. I thought it was Indian. All
Das
right.
ist gut.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
the cover.
See,
Look
it's
at
a collar,
that.
yep.
Look at that. Mhm.
Looks like a horror movie.
2004. What a year.
What a year to be alive. All right. All right. So what's it about? Do you remember? Or you
Don't
watch
remember a damn
Okay.
thing, but I remember it was
Very useful.
Look, I had watched The Exorcist.
it? Okay.
I had watched Nightmare on Elm Street.
The
All the
original-
all the classic shit. Yes.
Okay.
Did they creep you out too though? Did they impact
creeped
you when
me
you were?
out. They creeped me out, but they didn't scare me as much as this movie.
Oh yeah.
I guess because at the time it was probably some of the better done special effects.
Okay.
As far as like
Practical?
things like it was practical. It was like they say for movies like with Guillermo del Toro, it's like 90% people, 10%
Yeah.
effects. I think that was the case with this movie as well.
All right. Cool. Might have to
But
check
then
it out.
again, I could just be a fucking retarded ass kid, and I was very
Retarded.
impressionable, so I believed everything.
Yeah,
I
we'll
saw.
look back at this and be like, what the fuck was this shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a long time ago. You were
Yeah.
a
It's
kid,
got a
so-
2 out of 5 on.
Oh, no,
to be
I
fair-
believe it was a bad movie.
I mean, to be-
you to this day, I
To be
believe
fair,
it was-
most horror movies aren't necessarily good.
That's true.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like
narratives are weak too often.
not even that. I think reviews
I feel like
are
especially nowadays.
I mean, reviews are already subjective, obviously, because the person's doing it. But I mean, like, every review should be placed in the context of what is this movie trying to do, not just like
Mhm.
because
You shouldn't be
a lot
comparing it
of
to other
kids'
films.
movies are like rated low, but it's like well, it's not for a fucking 35-year-old adult with a journalism degree, whatever the hell degree you have that you're writing reviews on a website. It's for a kid. Let
Yeah.
a kid review it. Like, did you have fun, kid? Yes. It was entertaining. Yes. Was the story easy to follow?
shit.
Yeah,
That's
boom.
a good
you know,
point.
See,
I
that's
found
what,
my-
that's what our friends are. They dropped the ball on that. They got to make YouTube channels for the kids and have them review movies. Boom.
That's what
Professional kid critics.
No, you've got a very valid point with
Yeah.
that, because the other day I found myself like getting pissed off at like most of my friends who like are adults but they
Mhm.
enjoy Frozen. And I'm like, how do you enjoy a movie about a girl who does nothing, learns nothing, and continues to be nothing?
I liked
I
Frozen.
mean, I don't know about that. I didn't watch that movie simply because it was too popular.
Basically, she gets the
I
powers.
really pulled Alex.
Yeah,
I was like,
we pulled
literally,
Alex.
I'm like, everyone's it's the highest.
You know
grossing
how I ended up
anime of all
watching
time.
it?
I can't watch it.
Frozen 2 won't be as popular, so maybe you can watch that
Maybe
one.
I can watch that one. But I
Yeah.
think we didn't. Did Toy Story 4 top Frozen?
Did it?
I believe it
I
did.
think it did.
Oh, shit.
So now I can watch Frozen.
I still haven't watched.
I watched
Yeah.
that one, but before it topped
Was Toy
it.
Story 4 good?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Unnecessary but good.
Story is very simple. She gets a power, can't control it, runs away, learns nothing, goes back home to her family. That's it.
Okay. I mean, I wanted to watch it because I like ice powers and stuff like that,
Yeah, it's cool.
but I don't like musicals as much, so
Yeah.
I gotta.
I mean, I didn't either, but I enjoyed Rocket
fight
Man.
again. I never watched Rocket Man,
But yeah.
but okay.
What about you? What movies impacted you?
I mean, one of my top horror movies has to be Alien. The first.
You watched it
Alien.
as a kid?
Yeah.
When you were little?
Mhm. I don't know
Scared the
how
fuck
old
out of
that
you?
was, but
So you haven't watched it again as an adult?
yeah. I
Oh,
watched
okay,
it
okay.
fucking every year at least.
So
Uh,
how was that impact when you were a child, when you first saw that shit?
It was really cool because like, all right, now I'm gonna do it like in kind of hindsight. The reactions are very natural, which I didn't know later on was because the actors didn't know about some of the scenes, and it was a shock to them as well. But it's one of the top. It's one of the things that really got me into sci-fi because that was around the time I also started watching the original Star Wars, and I seen other horror movies like Hellraiser. Why I'm watching these when I'm like 6 years old, I don't know.
Yo, Hellraiser was
but I
fucked
didn't
up.
like it as much. It was a little bit scary, Hellraiser, but
The body horror was there
Yeah,
at
it
the
was
time.
crazy.
and it felt maybe because when I grew up Christian. I'm still Christian, but like I grew up
Yeah.
going to church every week. Because it had to be
So pious household.
called Hellraiser. I was like, it just feels wrong to watch it. So that's that maybe added like a layer to it.
At this time, Micah first discovered what a boner was.
Yes, at 6 years old, watching a horror movie with a guy named Pinhead. That's when I first discovered a boner.
Exactly. Because it was a
Um,
hell movie. So he's clearly influenced by Satan.
But back to Alien. Yeah, Alien is just like because it's sci-fi that hit me more, and like just the design of the ship that they find, the space jockey, the alien itself. It was creepy. It was and then like horrifying to imagine a face hugger impregnating you and then
Mhm.
chest burster. Like and then once again, I didn't realize how important it was to see a female protagonist in like that kind of time. But like, just, oh, it's a woman. She's smart. Like, listen to her. Why is no one listening to her?
Yeah.
She's saying everything
Honestly.
right. And it was just a good movie, and like I said, I rewatch it every now and again, and it still holds up to me. I'm trying to think what else. It's one of the things where like once you ask for a list, it's hard to come up with a list.
Did you watch
Yeah, so I
Exorcist
got-
as a kid?
What happened?
You watch Exorcist as a kid and shit like that?
I saw Exorcist when I was maybe like 9.
Didn't fuck you up?
That's when I
It fucks you up when you get older and you realize the context of
What
everything
fucked me up
that's
about
going
that
on.
movie was more the creepy faces. Like some of the faces were fucking.
The
creepy.
faces are
What's his
creepy,
name?
it's
Pazuzu.
yeah.
Yeah, his fucking face. Yeah.
even back then I didn't believe in possessions. So for me, like I said, that's why I'm more into sci-fi horror or like paranormal that is not reliant on demons unnecessarily because I don't know something about it. It was like, Exorcist never got it for me.
Yeah.
Fair
Or,
enough.
I think if you're more pious,
or
that
The
shit
Omen.
fucks you up.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Omen never got me.
Yeah.
Poltergeist never got me.
I was going to ask you guys, do you have a movie that you watched when you were a kid, never watched it again, but in your mind it's still like good?
Horror movie?
Yeah, any horror movie. It could be any genre. Doesn't
That's-
really matter.
That's considered to be like a really bad one.
No,
not
you just
considered.
saying,
In your head,
you
you
only
have,
saw it once. You still have that
Yeah.
same image of it.
Of it.
and it's still in your mind. It's still good.
That's hard for me because I've rewatched almost every movie I've seen at least twice.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't think there is. I'm sure there's like kids movies like that, but like horror movies, I think I've seen all of them again just so I can know how it looks as an adult.
Yeah.
You?
I mean,
Yeah.
A lot of disappointments.
The ones for that would be the one I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Record 1 and 2. I watched those
Oh,
when I
Record
was
1 and 2?
yeah. I watched
Okay.
those when I was like 14,
Okay.
15,
That's crazy.
and then 3 I watched it when I was like 19.
Trying to think what else. I mean, we talked about this before, but It Follows is a good horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a recent movie. It's rough to watch called The Nightingale. It's a revenge horror period piece. Takes place in the Tasmanian outback, maybe in like the 1800s. And this woman, her husband's killed, her baby's killed, and she's like raped multiple times in the first 20 minutes. And she's trying to get revenge on the soldiers that did that to her family. and it's long and it's rough to watch because
It's brutal.
Very
Just like I spit on your
very
grave, right?
explicit.
yeah, exactly.
It's a
But
similar, like-
it's not like exploitative. It's more like and
Okay.
personal stuff. And it's from the same director as The Babadook. I don't know if you ever said The Babadook.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough, but it's good.
Hmm.
And I don't recommend it just because it's so hard to watch.
Well, yeah, I
but,
mean, if you're,
yeah. But speaking of the Babadook, what do you think about the Babadook?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it? You watched
Mm-mm.
the Babadook?
It's
Oh.
not fresh in my mind, so
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
nothing.
Did they get taken off Netflix?
I'm not sure.
I know you explained Babadook already on the podcast.
You want me to explain it again? Is that what you're asking?
No, I mean you already
Oh.
explained it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I don't know if it's
I know,
on
and I
Netflix.
know what it's about. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a.
That's a good horror movie. Like I said, It Follows is a good horror movie. No, it's a thriller. I'm trying to think of.
What do you think about the Conjuring movie, the first one?
It's all right. Once again, those possession things don't get me, and like
Yeah.
the fact that
I
it's
didn't like any
based
of
on a
them.
true story, I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not gonna discredit anyone's
It's like loosely.
experiences,
Yeah.
but at the same time, to me, I'm like, that didn't happen
Yeah.
like that. Same reason I don't care about the anime horror, any of them.
Yeah.
And
You know what really creeped me the fuck out? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that old
the original
first one, creepy as fuck.
Leatherface is creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
And just the fact because like there's a chase scene in that shit, and I chase scenes.
Chase scenes were a fucking art form back
Yeah.
then, honestly.
Chase scenes were better
Chase
because
They
it was
were art
more
form back
visceral
then.
and it was more
Yeah.
like you kind of like your breath yourself. You kind of got caught
Yeah.
up
because
like
I put myself in that
I- I
position.
want-
exactly,
yeah.
exactly what it is. It helps you
Yeah.
put yourself in the position,
Yeah.
and you're imagining like
And I could just imagine running through the forest and
Yeah.
just feeling arms linked from somebody grabbing my neck or
because
something.
I think it's better when the person isn't dumb. You know, because there's like the dumb chases where like the person's tripping over everything and like that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
where they're making smart decisions and still get caught is like worse because you're like in
Shit,
your mind,
I'd
like,
do that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I would have done that, but fuck, I would have been fucked too. Like,
If I had taken the same course of action, I'd still be
I'd
dead.
still be fucked. Yeah.
Mhm.
Unless you say both.
The Hills Have Eyes. Original,
The original
even the remake was good.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the remake.
Okay, yeah, the remake's good too.
What do you think
I'll give it a
about like
chance.
remakes of all these movies? Because now they're remaking Black Christmas again for like the third time.
Yeah, but it's not even related.
Yeah, it has nothing to do.
That-
Yeah.
they just use
so
the
they're
name.
using, really?
Yeah,
That's so
Which is
which is
disrespectful.
weird because like you're using the name. It was a cult classic to begin with, so
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
gonna get that much. Say clout. It's not gonna get that much clout because
Like people aren't
you know,
gonna remember like, oh, I remember
Yeah,
this.
like oh man,
Yeah.
Black Christmas.
and
that black
aficionados are
comic-
gonna stay away just because of the fact that
Yeah, we
it's
know.
like it's unrelated.
Yeah,
So it's like you've literally created a market with very small like profit.
exactly. The
You see-
remakes. It's like
yeah.
it's one of the things where it's like a double-edged sword, right? Because you can say, okay, I don't want the remakes or the sequels to old movies, but then sometimes the director and the team do it well enough where you're like,
Like it.
Fuck.
Well, even I guess you can't say it's really a remake. I guess for it.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
remake. It's a remake. Yeah,
Well,
Yeah, I
well-
think it's a valid remake.
it's a remake.
Well, because it's like it's not actually.
It's a different take. But
It was,
it's,
no, I'm saying like it
Oh.
wasn't technically a movie. It was.
it's a remake.
Yeah,
it was a miniseries
Yeah.
with like 2-hour parts.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
movie.
and I think it's better than the old ones.
The first one.
Yeah. Well, while the clown, I feel like there's like a lot of nostalgia with the clown's appearance in the
Oh,
first
Tim
one.
Curry?
Wait, I didn't know.
Yeah, it was Tim Curry.
I didn't know it was a miniseries. I thought it was a TV movie.
No,
It's called a miniseries. It's really just 2 movies back to back.
Yeah.
It's 2-hour segments, but it was considered a
Okay,
miniseries.
that's how it was released in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was like like a regular show.
No. Yeah. It was just
Okay,
two
gotcha.
2-hour.
Because from what I
back to-
understood and
yeah.
from what I've like read on it, it always says like, oh, TV film.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
yeah,
The way
but
they released stuff back then was weird. But then
Yeah.
again, the way we release
Yeah.
stuff now is weird too. So
yeah. Well, I'll definitely say that the new one was better.
Much
yeah,
better.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like you can't kind of fault the studios for trying to bank on remakes.
Yeah, yeah. Because
But the
like
thing is-
money.
But the thing is,
Because
it
some
doesn't
of the
always
old
work.
ones are always bad.
Yeah.
And you can like it's hard to do worse than some of these.
Yeah, because they have
honestly.
good concepts. So you just want to revisit it and see what happened. You know, do it well
Exactly.
this time. But
Chucky.
Child's Play, you mean?
Child's
Whoa,
Play.
bro!
Oh.
It's called Child's Play.
Yeah, you
man.
better watch it,
Alright?
buddy.
It's not called Chuck.
Yeah, there are only 2 films called Chucky.
is the name of the doll, and the
There are only 2
the
films
first
with the name
entry
Chucky,
is
bro.
called Child's Play. That's like calling the first Rambo movie Rambo. It's called First Blood.
Had to school some niggas, you know. I didn't watch the new one. I don't care about that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, that
Mark-
movie.
It was an interesting. It was an interesting
that
twist,
movie
and it made
scared
sense.
me when I was younger.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the reason why I'm afraid of dolls or
3.
was afraid of dolls, but I was afraid of dolls when I was younger, like especially the more realistic looking ones.
Porcelain dolls.
Yeah, and I had
Porcelain dolls
and it
still
sucked because
kinda-
my mom had friends that collected them, like different friends. Like I don't know why she knows so many people that collected dolls, and I'd go to their house and she's like Frozen. Like
They put you in the. This is the playroom.
The only thing
Locks the door in front of behind you.
the only thing scarier than that is the fucking Japanese Okiku dolls. I used to walk by a shop that used to sell them in Flushing.
no idea what that is.
It's those dolls that look like that
Link in the-
stereotypical pale white geisha art on Japanese places.
I can't understand, but let me goggle.
All I heard was we.
I'm
Japanese Okiku dolls.
That's the only thing I find creepier than the porcelain ones.
Oh yeah, they're weird looking. Okay.
Yeah, sure it is.
No, you suck a dick.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, those dolls, like, there was a shop that would sell them, and I was like, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah, dolls are weird.
It's a weird concept. I want to own a little fake human.
Trying to think about what. Oh, speaking of fake humans or owning a. You ever saw The Boy?
The boy.
The boy.
It came out
Which one?
2015, 16. It's like this older couple. They had a son. He died. They have a doll that's like in his likeness, and they hired this girl to babysit the doll because they're leaving, like on a vacation or whatever. And obviously, supernatural stuff ensues.
It reminds you of Robert the Doll.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
This movie?
No.
Oh,
Just the concept of a family having a doll after losing a child.
oh okay.
Well, but it's a weird story. I think it's like from Florida. I think is where it originated. But pretty much it's similar story to like the Annabelle doll and shit.
All right, so here's a quick rundown. It's 2 sentences.
Yeah.
It was given to a young boy named Eugene Robert Otto, OTTO. It was
Cue the spooky music, Kieran.
it was by a servant that worked for the family.
Okay. Black person, all right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe she was
voodoo,
I believe
yeah,
she was
voodoo's
of
involved.
Haitian
Yeah.
descent, if I recall. Yeah, everybody called him Gene, and then became to the attached to the doll to the point where after his passing, it's like supposedly he currently inhabits
Like
the
his
doll.
soul inhabited the
Yeah.
doll. Okay.
And eventually now it's a distorted spirit, like you know,
Yeah.
it's like evil.
And people would claim to like be outside the house and see the doll walking back and forth on the windowsill
That'd be creepy.
and shit like that. Apparently, also like because he's on display now in Florida, I believe, and you have to ask permission before you take a picture of him because everyone who's taking a picture of him without permission, bad shit has happened to them and things like that. And
How do you know
Yeah.
if you are given permission?
Apparently, you could actually visibly see him nod his head.
Okay. All right.
yeah, but it's I mean the doll itself looks fucking weird as shit.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah,
This was
it's a
legitimately
weird-
creepy.
it's a
God,
weird
that
looking
is
doll.
horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not give that to a kid. No.
Okay.
Obviously, it must have looked better when he first got it. It must have been
Maybe.
one of those
Obvious.
like button-eyed dolls. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
button eyes.
There's a
and
close up on the
Might-
face.
Gee. Okay, that actually is nightmare fuel. Good God.
Yeah, I was saying originally it must have been just like a button-eyed doll, and it was very like probably adorable.
Yeah.
But then with time, weathering, and all that, and obviously demonic possession.
Yeah, demonic possession does it to you, man.
Yeah, really does.
Back here. It's in Key West. If anyone's ever in Florida, you can go visit Robert Doll and die. Maybe. Possibly.
Maybe.
Probably
Let us know
not.
if you die.
Yeah, let us know if you die.
Everybody's gangster till they go see Robert and they meet Ja.
What else? Oh, let me talk about a bad horror movie I saw was Hole in the Ground, I think it was called. It had to do with a skinwalker.
Ooh.
Yeah, this woman moves away from her abusive husband, her and her son, and the boy goes out into the forest at night. And there's like this like giant sinkhole, and then she starts noticing differences in his attitude and stuff like that. And it turns out that he's been replaced with a skinwalker. And then she goes out to
Ooh.
try to find her son. in
Skinwalkers are
time.
creepy as shit though.
Yeah, it was like whatever. The movie itself.
I got a
Native
question
American
about
shit
the.
creeps me out.
Yeah, I got a question about it. In the movie, when the child spoke, did they sound like?
Distorted?
Yeah.
No.
Damn.
But it was something about their reflection that either they didn't have one or I think there was something weird about their reflection. That's how she
Vampire.
could tell. I forget what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the reflection because the thing about it is most
Dampir, yes.
most accounts that speak of a skinwalker is nowhere near like a body of water or some other reflective service.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about most of the stuff, the lore as it should be.
Yeah,
But
I know what you mean. You're there for the movie, and usually you're not too
Yeah.
invested in finding out every detail.
Did we
about
explain
it.
Skinwalkers before on the podcast? I don't know if we did.
I think so.
Did we did?
I wasn't listening probably.
Oh.
You want me to do that one too?
I went,
You got it.
In your brain. I
That's what goes in
don't
my
know. I
mind.
don't know if we did though. Did we? Okay, so-
You want me?
I
To
mean,
do
it's the month of the spook, so I guess it's fine.
Want me to do it?
Okay, yeah, you can explain it.
All right. In Native American tribes, there is always a witch doctor of sorts, and they are
We've lost him already. He's gone.
and they are responsible for like the.
Oh
heal-
wait, you actually did. I mean, you can do it again, but now that you're saying it, you actually did
Yeah.
explain this.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you want, you
Let's do it again just because of the month.
Spooky Native American music this time now. Actually, yeah, sample Alex's voice and make it with
Please offend
that.
yeah. So like I was saying, essentially the skinwalkers are a witch doctor that was originally supposed to become the healer of the tribe, but decided to use their powers and their magic for their own selfish purposes. And what happens is eventually when they're so distorted mentally to the point where they're just like committing cannibalism and stuff like that, they eventually just their default form is like a deformed animal, like a deer with a dog.
And they're shapeshifters essentially, right?
Yeah, and they can shapeshift into any animal or person if they choose to. And on top of that, they also have the ability to mimic voices to a terrifying degree. But the only thing is that everybody who's reported hearing a skinwalker says it sounds slightly distorted. So try to imagine like,
or something like trying to imitate, like it's like something not quite right. Like it's like, oh, it's human, but it doesn't know how to be human.
yeah, there's like they say like it's like a tinniness or something.
I'm gonna say two things. I might be wrong. It might have been a changeling, not a skinwalker in the movie,
Oh, okay.
because it took place in Europe.
Oh, changelings are fucking scary.
And just to add to what you were saying, I looked it up, and they're the Navajo. You said it.
Yeah.
But just to,
The Navajo is one of them. What's the other one? There's a couple.
Those are the
other tribes.
Wendigo, right?
Yeah.
And they have something, but I think that's a different.
Wendigo.
No, there's another
Wendigo.
tribe that the Navajo, and I forgot what the other one was. It's all in the west coast, southwest coast. So like in the New Mexico, Texas, that whole region right there, the hot region of the U.S. in the south. That's where a lot of these Native American tribes, like the Navajo, are concentrated.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's
But this was bizarre. Hearing little snippets of stories and shit and weird shit.
the speaking
bizarre
of the Native American stuff, things, and horror in general. There's what I'm saying. There's a movie coming out next year, possibly. Right? It's supposed to be coming out. It's an X-Men related movie called The New Mutants. It was originally supposed to come out last year, but it's been pushed back for different reasons, et cetera, et cetera. Now Disney owns Fox, and people don't even know whether or not it's actually coming out. There have been reshoots, a lot of stuff. What it was supposed to be was a horror movie in the X-Men universe, which would be, different. That would be really cool.
Very good.
And they're going to take the whole thing of like mutants finding out their powers and make it like a body horror kind of thing, which would have been dope. And it would have been the New Mutants crew, which is made up of characters like this guy named Cannonball, who can propel himself at high velocities, a guy named Sunspot, who has plasma energy, a Colossus' sister, actually. Colossus,
wow.
Yeah, she's a teleporter, but she also was raised in a limbo in the dimension and raised by demons and stuff, and she learned a lot about magic. And there's a character named Danielle Moonstar, who is a Native American, and she has, I think, like shamanistic powers, if you could say, like something to that degree. And yeah, that's just to point that out. Like there's new mutant stuff with shamans, and that'd be cool.
That's cool.
And she even has like a foe named Demon Bear. I'm be honest with you, I'm not fully into her backstory, but I know she has like a entity called Demon Bear that she has to fight from time to time, and she has to do that as part of her heritage. And embraces that. And it's pretty cool. So I don't know. I doubt they're gonna go that deep into it if the movie even comes out.
Yeah. Because it sounds like that happened in the course of a lot of issues. The way you're saying it.
And but it's just pretty cool that they try to highlight stuff like that. But,
yeah, but on the subject of Native Americans, I think the reason why, as I said, I find it so terrifying when we hear these stories is because they're the original people of the continental United States, and the reason I find this so terrifying is because they don't have any of this written record. They didn't have written language. Yeah. It was all just spoken language. So
passed down,
yeah. So when you pass down word of mouth, it has a little more credence than word, just because of the fact that you don't have much playing room when you're just passing down word of mouth. You have to pass it down as closely as you can, or it's going to get distorted infinitesimally with every generation. Versus the word, written on page, you can play with metaphor. You can play with these things because over time people can decipher. But it's not exactly the case of word of mouth.
And even like younger generations of Navajo, like if you bring this up to them, they just shut up. They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, they still believe it.
Yeah, because they also believe that talking about skinwalkers, Wendigos, and all these other supernatural evil things will attract them to you.
Yeah,
it's kind of like whistling for them.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It's
like Voldemort.
Yeah.
Don't say his name.
Don't say his name.
Lord Moldy Butt.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What else? What else we got? We got what other cultures we got? Japanese stuff.
Oh, Japanese stuff is shit. I mean, the resident weeb must know a lot. What's that face mask girl? The one with the big smile.
Is,
you know about that one?
Fuck.
No. We should just assume you don't, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a creepy. That was like there was a creepy like a comic strip of that, and it's creepy because like
Kuchisake Onna. That's her name. Kuchisake Onna.
Kuchisake Onna?
Yeah.
Kuchisake
So
Onna.
she is supposed to be what with a surgical mask on.
Oh,
what
I actually
appears to
do
be-
know.
Yeah. Hey!
yeah.
Yeah. So she's supposed to be with the mask on,
Yeah.
with the appearance, the upper part of her face looks like that of a beautiful woman.
Right.
And she will walk to you, remove the mask, and she will ask you, "Am I pretty?"
beautiful? Yeah.
Yeah.
What doesn't she ask you before she removes the mask? And then after you say yes, she takes it off. Then she's like, "Am
Oh
I
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
now?"
yeah, you're right. No, She
Yeah.
asks you first with the mask on, "Am I pretty?" And usually, when you see the top half, you're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you're pretty." And she takes off, "Am I still pretty?" And the part about it is that with Japanese myths and legends, there is no way out.
Well, isn't there like a lot of
Yeah,
weird
you have to
intricacies?
come up with like a third option.
Yeah.
So so you could say she's pretty or she's ugly, but the problem is
She
it
kills you
doesn't-
either way,
yeah,
right?
she'll kill you or chase you either way. I think
Right.
if you say she's pretty, she will pause for a moment and that'll give you enough time to run away.
Mhm.
If
But you can confuse her too, right?
you
Like,
can- in Japanese legends, you're allowed to confuse the
entities.
Oh, to get
the
away.
entities. Yeah. But
It's
the thing
hilarious.
is you have to be smart enough.
What about the, isn't there like a toilet demon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a toilet demon too. No, but I think if you tell her like I don't know or something like that, or say some weird shit like that, she'll like get confused and walk away.
See, like that's why like paranormal stuff I don't have. If we ever had like AI and I had to confuse it, I got you.
Yeah.
With that God paradox.
With that, did you
The red paper
Was that
blue
from,
paper is Akamanto.
in Fallout? I don't know if you
I never
in
played
three.
Fallout.
In
Yeah.
3, there's a pretty much you fight the supercomputer and you give it like a paradox and
Oh, okay.
that's how you kill it because
Oh,
it's
okay.
like confused as
Yeah,
fuck.
I'm gonna give people the cheat sheet. If you ever
And it was-
are encountered by an AI and you have to confuse it to get away, you ask him, "Can God make a sandwich that even he couldn't eat?"
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Run
The
away.
other one is Akamanto. That's the one that if you sit in the last stall in a bathroom that's next to the wall,
Right.
a spirit will come up to you, knock on the door, and ask blue paper or red paper. And whichever one you choose has a consequence of death. Blue paper, you will be drowned in the toilet
Right.
and suffocated. And if you choose red paper, you will basically be like just like ripped
Eviscerated?
apart.
Yeah.
You'll be eviscerated completely. And if you ask for purple paper, you'll be sent into the depths of hell. So you have to come up with
Two things. One, well, no, three things. One, can you ask for white paper? Two, are you drowned in there with your poop or is it clean water? And three,
all I know is as soon as you hear the voice, start flushing, start flushing. Yeah.
the Japanese believe in hell. Well, like not all Japanese, obviously, but like in their
in
belief
Shinto?
system. Yeah, in Shinto, is there a
I
hell?
believe Shinto shares the same hell as Buddhism,
Okay.
where it's based on the whole like the piety and materialism being
Alright.
sins.
Cool. I didn't know it. What else we got?
I just know the
There's
word.
a lot. There's a lot of Japanese ones. Fucking weird. I don't know. There's this fucking. I remember seeing this webcomic, and it was like this like story of a girl, and you're reading it and thinking it's like a regular comic, but there's a part of it that when you get to it, it's fucking a jump scare, and you're not expecting it because it looks like a comic,
Oh wow.
and like in part of it you get to it, and like the girl's head twists around, and you hear like this creepy ass,
Oh, shit,
loud
that's
ass
cool.
sound. I remember seeing that shit and fucking shit in my pants. That shit was. But I think I feel like it was the mask lady. I feel like that's what it was about.
The other one I know is Hachisaku-sama. Hachishaku-sama. It basically means a tall woman, and basically is if you see her, she basically chases you down, and they have to perform a special ritual with like incense and keeping you locked in a certain Japanese style room until sunrise, and you're not allowed to open that door until sunrise, or until somebody who is the ones who put you in that room open the door for you. But the thing about her is that if she's after you, only you will see her. Nobody else will see her. So if you claim she's outside the window, everybody will look and be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So that's the reason why that one becomes a little more terrifying, because people know what to do. But it's also like, we can only lock you in that room and that's it. That's what we can do for you. And you got to make sure you don't come out and you don't respond to anybody who comes to open the door, ask you to let them in. That's it.
You should explain. You know what you should explain to Micah? I don't know
Yeah.
if you know what these are. Yanderes? How do you say it?
Yandere.
Yeah.
Oh,
Explain that to Micah.
okay. So are you aware of all the what dere means?
Nope.
All right. So the first half of it explains a certain what is it called? A certain type of, would you say, adjective? And then the second would be love.
Okay.
So yandere would basically mean like that one is basically the crazy bitches that will kill you because they can't have you.
Okay.
Tsundere,
Oh, like DERE, dairy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, no.
Tsundere is the ones that they'll pretend like,
They're
oh,
not
I
you.
don't like you or
Yeah.
anything, and then when you turn your back, they'll be like, I fucking adore you. Then you have kudera, which are basically the ones that are like, you'll be happier with another person. I'm gonna do everything I can to set you up with that other person.
Okay.
And then I think there's another one, but I'm not gonna bother with it because those are the 3 common archetypes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a lot of creepy stories of women like that in Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Like ones that are so crazy that they'll
Yeah.
kill
They'll
you.
kill
'cause they
you.
love you.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's also because of the fact that in Japan, since the birth rate is low, it's usually because men have become what they call herbivorous men. So, you don't
Yeah.
want to taste of the flesh. Eating pussy, eating poons in the nani.
Now it's a horror podcast.
Yeah. So they basically they usually have no desire to be with women. So, women are having a harder time finding men.
Well,
And result is
Alex is booking his flight as we speak.
yeah. So
Just go there with a t-shirt that says available.
neon shirt with lights.
single, ready to mingle with Japanese.
Yeah, right.
Wear like a disco shirt and have me stand up and point a flashlight at you from afar
Oh God.
and twirl.
Or have those the shining sticks that they have at the
Oh,
airport. At the airport.
All right.
Yeah. So since the birth rate is declining, women become more obsessive over men because it's harder to get men. Versus here in the West, it's harder to keep a woman around because women always want to live their best life and hoe around.
Mm-hmm. That was necessary.
No,
I don't want the whole round part.
There's nothing wrong with it. You can do what you do. Do what you.
That's not
boo-boo.
judgmental, right?
It's not
That
judgmental.
shit sounded judgmental as hell.
Oh man, there's always every episode. Every episode, there's just this one
Wait.
thing Alex has to say.
There's nothing wrong with it. You can do what you want. I don't care.
Heartbroken, apparently.
I'm just saying that here it's more common for women to do that. And,
That's how you said it.
why do you think? Why do you think? Why do you think? Why do you think?
That's how
No,
you said it.
No, dude, no. Here in America, the cat lady is more common for a fucking reason.
Clearly not an English major, Monica. You need to know how you say shit.
I don't think he realizes how he says it until after.
What? I don't see what's wrong with it. Would you not say it's common?
Hoe around.
Yes, that means go around, fuck whoever you feel like fucking.
Oh,
It
God.
has a negative connotation. What? You put your hands up, you don't fucking know that.
I don't fucking know. What's the negative connotation?
Being a hoe,
They call themselves hoes and bitches all the time at this point.
yeah, they can do it.
Suck my dick. Yeah, but like I was saying, yeah, they could be promiscuous and whatever
There we
as,
go,
as
that's a
they
better
please.
word.
That was a better word.
Women like to, you always add it to your show as Jesus fucking Christ. All right, here in the West, women are more promiscuous and they choose to live that way. Over there, it's not the same thing.
Right.
There's a different cultural attitude towards it. So women are constantly looking for a man to be with.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so given that dedication and whatever that women have to men over there, it's harder to find men. And the moment a man doesn't want to be with them, they just fucking go insane.
Bitches be crazy? Is that what you're saying?
How'd you handle that situation?
What, like she tried to kill me? I would fucking kill her.
Why not?
Yeah.
Bitch had it coming.
Self-defense, right?
Bitch had it coming.
I feel like you kind of see red flags too.
Oh, like
Yeah.
crazy girls? Sometimes. Sometimes they're good at masking it for a while.
Yeah, like some of them are good at masking the stalking thing.
Yeah.
Like, checking your location, like logging all that data and shit. Oh, fuck.
All right, back to horror. You ever seen the movie Let the Right One In?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
you saw both of them?
I think
Let Me In.
I think
The
I've
American
seen
remake?
it.
It's the
That's
one
it. Is it Let Me In is the American one?
Yeah.
Oh,
With
okay.
The, with Chloe Grace Moretz. The,
yeah, I
Kick-Ass
saw that
role.
one.
Yeah, that's a good vampire movie
Mm-hmm.
that uses more of the
The traditional lore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they can't come in without express permission.
Same
Yeah.
thing with Fright Night.
So she came in, she started bleeding horribly. That scene was crazy when she walks in. He's like, "Why can't you just come in?" She's like, "Yeah."
It's a sad
I'm
movie.
just looking through a list of like the best horror movies of the past 10 years.
That's very similar to the Black Eyed Kids. Black Eyed Kids they come to your door.
This is another one. Should we just? These are all cannonballs. Should we shoot them all out in this episode?
Yeah, fuck it. The Black Eyed Kids
that's
are
the
a
do you have
phenomenon.
the story? Like the actual? You should pull up the origins because the thing with Black Eyed Kids is people thought that it was just like a meme or like a
horror made
but
up
there's
thing.
but
Okay.
it was like there was an actual account, like there was an actual origin to it.
Oh,
And
yeah?
whether you think it's real or not, that's up to you. But there was an actual eyewitness
Like
account, reported
okay.
actual fucking occurrence. But people think it was just a made up shit from the start.
While he's looking it up, I'll
Yeah.
name another movie. I Saw the Devil. You ever
Oh
saw that?
yes, that's a good one. That's the Japanese one, right?
Yeah.
Or is it
No,
Japanese or
Korean.
Korean?
Yeah, it's a Korean revenge
That
horror
one's
movie.
fucking crazy.
That one is
Catch and
super
release
fucked
all
up.
day, every day.
That man went to new levels.
Yeah.
That's a Korean horror
Yeah.
movie where the guy's recently.
It's horror but martial arts too. It's like a horror
recently
martial arts
pregnant,
movie.
But she just found she's
Fucking
pregnant.
dope. I never
Yeah,
thought about
it's
putting that together.
a horror martial
Actually, we
arts
already
movie.
had a Halloween
Yeah.
Resurrection.
was it
Come
Ja Rule?
on.
Was it Ja Rule?
Uh,
Or no, was it
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes? Yeah, it was
Busta
Busta Rhymes. He kicked his ass, yo. Kicked him out the
I can't
window.
with that movie.
He learned kung fu from watching on the TV.
I can't with
Yeah.
that movie. That movie's trash.
That movie's fucking
it's
hilarious.
trash.
It's a
But we
comedy.
had kung fu.
That movie's fucking
That movie's funny. Yo, one of the funniest scenes is when fucking Michael
Was Wing
Myers
Chun style.
is chasing him.
And he's with
And
the
he turns
shovel.
around and he's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
He's still in my outfit.
And Michael Myers just turns around. He's like, I guess that was my conscience telling me to get the fuck out of here.
Oh god.
But not the wrong one. And I Saw the Devil is a revenge horror movie where a guy's wife is was she raped first? I forgot. I know he kills her, but did he rape her first? I don't remember. But let's just say she was violated and then killed,
Decapitated, all that shit. Like,
Yeah.
it was,
dismembered.
yeah.
And so
The whole nine.
yeah, so the husband sets out to get revenge.
And he's a police officer too, right? Or something?
Yeah, he's some kind of.
He's like the first responder too. He
yeah.
sees their fucking head.
So he's like armed officer of the state, I guess.
This man goes in a. It's not even a spree, really. It's a spree, kind of. He kills a few people that aren't in it, but
Are they related to it at
he
least?
catches this man, beats the shit out of him, lets him go.
And keeps doing it over.
Catches it
doing
again?
And it just keeps
Like,
doing
that's
it
what he's
over
doing.
and
He
over
just
again.
hunts him across like the county or the state or
And
whatever.
then the end
That's
is
amazing.
Yeah, and the end is crazy. The end is
I won't say the end, but
yeah, yeah. The end
really
is
good.
ridiculously crazy. Let's just
Alright.
say he gets even.
Yeah.
Oh, yo.
Oh yeah.
Wait. He gets even.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what that means, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. You should
Yeah,
watch
so
it. Is it still on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's on Hulu.
Oh, it's on
Or
Hulu
was
now.
on
It
Hulu.
was on Netflix. I remember.
It was on Hulu. I don't even know if it's back.
The original story is from 1996 by a man named Brian Bethel.
Ooh.
He's a journalist from Abilene, Texas. In his report, he describes the late
Spooky
evening
music,
out
Kieran.
in his vehicle. He had stopped in a parking lot near a movie theater to write a check. He was so absorbed in this that he didn't notice two young boys approach his car. He didn't notice until the older boy tapped the driver's side window. Bethel rolled down his window and noted immediately a soul-racking fear. He couldn't understand why. The older boy said that he and his brother wanted to catch a movie but had forgotten their money at home. Could Bethel give them a ride? They assured him that it wouldn't take long and they were just two kids that didn't have a gun.
This is
Yeah.
what we need to know.
Bethel found the assurances unnerving and noted that the last showing of the film they wanted to see had already started and would be nearly over by the time he could drive them anywhere and back. In this recount of the incident, he stated that when he had broken eye contact with them, his fear became all-encompassing, and it wasn't until the eye contact broke that their eyes became completely blacked out. The older boy began to get frustrated when Bethel made excuses for not giving them a ride and said they couldn't get into the car unless Bethel said it was okay. After that, Bethel tore out of the parking lot, and to this day, he still stands by his story.
Okay. But that's not. Is that the only account? Like, is
There are
Well,
many
there are-
more,
yeah,
but
there are.
the common thing is, like I said,
They can't
similar
come
to
in?
vampires, they can't come in without permission.
Okay.
And in one of the stories where they came in with permission, somebody died.
That's similar to some accounts of demons, where it's like you have to give them
Yeah, even
the place in them, like you know, like I allow you to whatever. Yeah.
I only know this because I was like pretty religious when I was younger and I was an
Mhm.
altar boy. But from what I know about demonology, as far as what the Catholic Church believes, they believe that possession happens because somebody allows it.
Yeah, it's voluntary to
Yeah,
agree.
it's not conscious.
Yeah.
It's on a they believe it's on a spiritual level, like your soul.
Mhm.
Because you got to remember, certain things that happen in your mind, your brain alone, are things you don't think about. Most of the things are reflex or they're just a result of habit.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Conditioning.
The same thing. Like, you know, if you believe in the concept of the soul and you're spiritual, the same thing is true for your soul because
There's access.
it governs above your brain if you're spiritual. So it can easily happen with your soul as well.
Right.
And some people would let demons in if they were promised something of value.
Yeah. The old Crossroads demon trade. Did you do it
Would I do it? Allow a demon?
I mean,
for everything in the world?
The thing is, I feel like in the back of my head, I'm like, I feel like for instance, if we had a Ouija board here, I feel like part of it is like actually believing that it
Yeah.
has some kind of power. So I feel like,
Believing in it gives power, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
So I feel like,
like a tulpa.
What was that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a Topa. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like in the back of my head, I'd be like, I don't believe this bullshit. So I feel like it wouldn't.
I think I would
agree.
be the most invulnerable motherfucker then.
Yeah.
I'll save you guys when you're believing like fuck. I'm like, there's nothing even there. I'm gonna get like it just disappears. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. Just in case nobody knows, a tulpa is essentially a thought form spirit that is tied to a symbol that is of Tibetan origin. Basically, you are supposed to attach a thought form to that symbol, and the more people buy the story and believe it and they're wholeheartedly, the more powerful it becomes. Let's pretend you fabricated a monster that likes to eat children. If it eats one child by chance because the child believes it will, then after that, everybody will believe that it does eat children because it did do it. And it will progressively get stronger as it keeps going on.
Have you guys seen the movie Raw? It's a French horror film.
No.
Oh, fuck, man. That's a good movie. Yeah. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. If it is, give it a chance. I'm just going to give you the premise, like the first 10 minutes of the movie, because I don't want to spoil anything about it. But this girl is a vegetarian, and she goes to a veterinary school that her older sister goes to. I think her parents also went to. So it's like in her family to go to that school. But her family's vegetarian. And part of the initiation, though, is to eat like a piece of raw animal meat. And once she does it, she all of a sudden gains this insatiable hunger for meat.
I feel like this sounds really familiar.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say about it. But it's good. It's really good.
Okay.
That's cool.
And it's actually disturbing, some of the scenes. Like one of the things that makes me, I'm gonna tell you right now, she throws up hair, like, and it's disturbing how much it is. Cause like I'm like, she had that in her mouth that like it was a gross amount of hair, and it actually made me kind of sick. And some people, when they saw it in film festivals, they like threw up or passed out.
Oh, Jesus.
It's good though. Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
That's cool. That's similar to what happened with the Scarecrow in Scary Stories Told in the Dark.
Oh yeah, the fucking.
Yes, he kept like throwing up the hay while he was becoming a scarecrow.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's
Yeah.
also
That was a really
like,
good movie.
Yeah,
But that was CGI. The hair in this one is it's real and it's disgusting.
Let me tell you, those old movies.
It was real hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking gross.
Those old movies, I don't know. Like, is it an older movie?
Nah, it
or-
came out in 2016.
Oh, really? Wow. But
Oh,
like
fuck.
older movies, when they do shit like that, it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like I heard The Exorcist has a terrifying backstory for what happened backstage. Like
Oh, yeah.
a lot of that shit was
Well,
fucking.
I mean, yeah, I heard she got
Yeah.
Linda Blair, right?
And then I think
She was scarred for life.
in
Yeah.
Poltergeist, there's a scene with like corpses, and they were actual corpses.
I think there was a university
Oh, did a lot
nearby.
of people die filming that movie?
or afterwards.
Or afterwards?
Yeah,
Both.
and
Like,
people, yeah.
During production and afterwards.
Yeah, but like most of the cast just fucking died. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
What else? There's a list I can just give you of like.
Yeah.
new
I mean,
ones,
we
like,
should probably before we wrap things up. I don't know how long we've been going for.
I think the Babadook's number one.
58 minutes.
Yeah, I guess before we wrap things up, we can give movies that people may have not seen that
Tell you
aren't
about
popular ones.
The most overrated piece of shit now. But all right, before we do that, what were we talking about before? Oh yeah, the different cultures. All right, what else we got? We hit Japan. Does China have any specific ones, or is it like?
Probably, but we have to do research.
okay.
Next week we're gonna come like fully loaded with shit.
No.
Probably not. We say this to hype you up so you can watch and tune in.
I know Ireland has a good. Ireland and Scotland have like a good amount, right? Of paranormal stuff and creatures. What else?
There's a weird, was that in Ireland? The lighthouse story?
I
feel like it was Ireland.
Scottish House.
Oh, it was Scottish House?
Yeah.
Essentially it's a story about this lighthouse where the people were, doing lighthouse shit, tending
As you do.
And I forgot what was it, the boat? Fuck.
What do you mean?
Shit. I think I'm combining two stories in my head.
That's how most things start.
Yeah. But essentially they come to the lighthouse and and they find it abandoned.
Okay.
And not a trace of anybody. But they find the logs, and the logs were saying that like people were starting to act weird, and that people I feel like it's in the boat. I feel like it's the other way around where they found the boat deserted.
Okay.
Either or, but it's creepy either way because they find the logs. It's pretty much like typical logs, the daily logs, and then at a certain point things start to get weird. People start acting weird. They report a storm that no one outside of the area has reported. So pretty much there was no storm.
Okay.
But they were saying there was a storm.
Yeah.
And then pretty much, I think one of the last logs is that he reports that someone was like kneeling down praying or some shit, and
That's it.
no one is ever found.
Oh shit.
There was no bodies found. There was nothing. Yeah.
I wonder,
Yeah.
like with a lot of horror stories and movies, and then horror stories like in real life, like paranormal stuff. Most of the time, it's in more isolated places, like and not near urban centers.
Most don't like the city.
I would say there's like two reasons for that. Like the real world reason would be like if I'm gonna tell a story, the reason why you haven't heard of it is because it didn't happen here, But then I think on the if you believe that this is real part, it's the creatures don't want to be anywhere where they'll be easily caught, So they
Actually,
stick to the outskirts.
There's a theory on that actually. Damn, what was it called? Fuck, I'm gonna look it up. But do you remember that there's a line where paranormal shit actually happens, like geographically?
Oh yeah,
Is it like
yeah.
what, population versus sightings, or
it's a line of latitude and longitude. Latitude, I think it is.
Oh.
That goes east to west. Travels east to west.
that's different from ley lines, right? Ley lines are something different.
No. It's
Okay.
it's a geo, like he said.
Okay.
It's a latitude line. I forgot what it is. I think it's the 34th parallel.
Yeah,
Oh,
something
I've
like
heard
that.
of that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
literally, like in the U.S., you will find that whole line has a bunch of
Sightings and stuff?
super weird shit.
Yeah. Oh no,
Okay.
it's mysterious deaths along the 37th parallel.
37th,
37.
okay.
Thank you for correcting.
I heard
Yeah.
that. I didn't know what that was about. All right.
Yeah. And then apparently Bigfoot sightings, like all the weird shit you hear, like
It's
it's
around
it's
there.
all along that line. So it's like that's where you have to be essentially for shit to.
What about all right? What about not monsters necessarily, but like stuff like the Bermuda Triangle, like places.
Places.
Yeah. What do you got?
You heard that's the next raid spot?
The what?
They're gonna raid the Bruno channel. It can't
What are you
swallow us
talking
all. It can't swallow us
What are
all.
you talking about? That was raid the Vatican. They can't molest us all.
Oh yeah, that one's true. That's another one too.
I got another Japanese one. I just recall.
Surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like their stories because there's like no way out. I don't know.
Not
There's
really,
something more
unless you're
terrifying.
fucking smart and you
Yeah,
just
no. That's
confuse
what I'm
them.
saying. Like you have to be about your wits.
Mhm.
It's more like the individual has to figure it out on the spot
Yeah.
than having an answer to it prior. That's how most like European and Central and South American and Hispanic legends are.
Mhm.
There's always a way out if you avoid it.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one's Cowhead. It's not like there's a cow-headed person or something, but
No.
there's a story of a class that went somewhere and encountered this, and the story is obscured because it's hard to find it.
Okay.
But the actual legend behind it is, if you hear the story, you will go insane, catatonic, and maybe even die after hearing it.
Jesus.
Yeah. So nobody even knows what causes it. That's a scary one. And then here's one of my favorites, Hanako-san of the toilet. It's a legend of a young girl named Hanako who haunts school bathrooms. Different versions of the story include Hanako-san is the ghost of a girl who was killed while playing hide and seek during an air raid in World War II, and that she was murdered by a stranger or an abusive parent, or that she committed suicide in the bathroom. Rumors and legends about Hanako have achieved notable popularity in Japanese primary schools, where children may challenge classmates to try and summon Hanako.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's how it is. Japanese school people and ghosts. Like Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah.
They actually have a Japanese version of the Ouija. It's called Kokuri-san.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of a board with letters on it, it's the Japanese hiragana and then a coin, and the coin is like yes or no.
Okay.
You ask questions and it's again a yes or no answer. And
Have you ever done a Ouija board?
Ouija board? No.
Okay.
I've been offered twice, but I was reluctant just because I'm pretty spiritual, so
Hmm.
I'm afraid of the things I don't understand.
Okay. Fair enough.
I've never tried it either.
I never tried it. I
I would do Kokuri-san.
You would try it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe that shit.
Yeah.
I would do Kokuri-san.
Would you like it?
If it moved, would I believe it? Maybe I wouldn't disbelieve it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you always have to have
But do you want to? Do you
do
want
you-
to find some sort of
Not really. I don't
prove
care
it?
either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And I told you,
how
my-
would the change if
for
you did
me,
though?
the optimal end point is that we die and there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Like that. Like it's
That's your
this
desire?
life. Yeah. It's this life and that's it. That's what I hope. I think I'm wrong.
Why? Do you find that if there is an afterlife, then your life had no value?
Not even that. I think that in the afterlife couldn't have any kind of like. It couldn't live up to what people imagine it is, right? Because all right, real quick, if heaven is perfect in terms of there's no negativity and no bad stuff, part of what you remember, I think I've told you before, part of what you remember and part of what you experience is quote unquote bad stuff. So either you don't remember it, so you're not the same person, or you do remember it, so it's not, heaven's not perfect the way you think. So it's like, why would you want to live on forever having the fucking turmoil that you've had in your life in your mind? Even if you're not experiencing it currently, you still have to remember that it happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's only like two options that it could be. There,
Yeah, I
infinite
get,
amount of ways.
I get what you're saying. What you're trying to say
Could
is
be,
that
but
if you recall your memories of your life on Earth in heaven,
Yeah.
that means that it's only better than life on Earth by comparison because you remember. And if you don't remember, then it can't be any better because you don't have a comparison
then
point.
you're not you,
Mm-hmm.
because you are your memories
Yeah,
for the most part. So
Mhm.
that's a good point to make.
it is what it is. But but yeah, I'm not looking for paranormal stuff or like looking for explanations. I'm more science fiction person,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I'm more looking out to stars.
But if it
and-
happens, would you be like,
If it happened in front of me, I mean, I can't discount something I see.
Yeah.
You know, so
But at the same time, I guess you'd be like skeptical, try to come at
with
it
the
with like.
Ouija board, you have to have someone else's hands, or it can be just one person.
It has
no,
to be because there is an explanation to the effect on why it moves by itself.
Okay.
Because it's the same thing as if like because there's something you can do with your hands too that makes you can make your. I think it's like if you. There's something you can do with your hands.
There's a power of suggestion involved that it's something about meeting your hands together, and if you say a certain thing or phrase or something, eventually your arms will have a natural reaction with something to do with your muscles that will create movement,
Okay.
even though you do not voluntarily make that movement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's something along those lines.
All right, that's cool.
So the only reason I'm not scared of Kokuri-san as much as the Ouija board is because he's the middleman, and if you close it off with him, it's done.
Okay.
So the thing about Ouija boards is
Can I
that
have protection against the other side?
the Kokuri-san,
Yeah.
if you close it off properly, you're good.
Okay.
All you got to do is say goodbye in the appropriate way, and you're done. But with the Ouija board, the problem is it's a direct line to whatever spiritual entity you might run into. So if it's a fucking powerful, malicious demon, then you are fucked, my friend.
If I ever did a Ouija board and I got possessed, would you kill me?
It wouldn't kill the demon, so I think I have to find another way. Honestly,
Man, fuck you.
I only kill.
I need someone
no.
stronger.
no. I'll only kill you if one, you're suffering.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if I'm possessed by a demon, I'm suffering.
Yeah, if I see you're suffering, I'm gonna fucking end you.
I don't believe you. I need someone stronger. All right.
It's called the ideomotor effect.
There
That's
we
what
go.
it's called.
ID motor effect?
Motor effect.
Oh, IDEO. Okay, I'll look it up. Probably. Maybe. Put a list.
Ziwara do.
But you can do actually. There's a real world experiment you could do with your hands. I'm about to look it up.
And a cat and a toaster?
No, with your
Oh,
hand.
okay, because I saw that one on the website. All right, while he looks for the thing with the thing, let me tell you how I think Get Out is overrated.
Ooh.
I didn't like it at all.
Like, it's okay, but part of it is because of
Us was better.
when I was sitting.
I think the opposite. Well, actually, I didn't see the first. I didn't see
Nah.
Get Out.
You're only saying that because you don't want
Wait, no, fuck that. How can you say that
How
then?
much more bad? I will think the opposite though.
I don't give a shit. You already conditioned yourself that that's the case.
I remember his argument for it.
What?
The logistics don't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about logistics. It's
Just to
fiction.
Get Out?
I do that all the time.
Okay.
though.
The
Just
rabbits.
of us.
Of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of the
Oh.
people living on the ground.
Oh, like how they survived that long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's plot holes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, my mind is. I mean, I know. I
It's
felt
possible,
like.
but it
I
requires
felt
more
like the
planning.
movie was more about like the the commentary it was trying to make.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my mind was like, but that shit wouldn't work.
Yeah, it's funny. The whole
It's like
time,
I get it.
the whole time
You
I
like
thought it
Get
was
Out more, but they're over there fucking transplanting goddamn brains and minds into other people. But
I haven't seen the movie.
He wants
I can't
fucking
speak.
realism. That's what it's about. That's what it's fucking about. They
I might not like
transplant
both of them.
White people's minds into black people into minorities' bodies. Okay,
Hey there, neighbor.
and yet you want realism.
Wait, that's a perfect way to end racism.
Fucking asshole. Not really, because it showed that they were still just as racist.
No, think about it. Melanin is no longer the problem. It's the black brain.
Yeah. Which,
Hey, all brains are the same
as
color.
eugenics has shown, the skull of the Negro.
It only comes in half sizes. I'm from the hood. I never seen a guy wear anything less than a 7.5. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if his head is a 7 3/4, a 7 3/8. He's gonna wear the 7.5. That's just the hood.
I also think Hereditary is overrated.
Yeah. I heard Midsummer was a good follow up from the same crew.
Midsommar is good.
Yeah, I heard from the same crew. It was like a very good follow up. That
Oh my god!
written
All
in-
right, here we go. This is hands down one of my favorite horror movies to date.
Okay.
The Witch. Have you ever seen The Witch? Fuck, man, I
think
love
I
The
have.
Witch.
Are
Can you
those the
describe it to
A24
me?
movies?
It's a A24. It's a slow burn, periodic horror movie where this family is banished. I think from their, I don't know if they're Puritan or what kind of religion, but like say their village because of the father's religious views or his outspokenness, something like that. Basically, they're banished in the beginning, so they have to set out on their own and establish their own farm. And while the oldest daughter is playing with the baby, she like does peekaboo, and one time she does peekaboo, the baby's gone, it's vanished, and you find out that there's a witch living in the woods, and then all this paranormal stuff starts happening, and the family's trying to find out why is this happening, and they're blaming the daughter at first, saying that she's a witch, and then they're saying like there's a demon or a devil that seduced her and all this stuff. And I'm not gonna say who's responsible for what, but it's a slow burn, but it's only 90 minutes. And I love the setting because they really the dialogue is perfect for that. What I assume that time period, how they would speak, and the performances are well done. And the ending, literally, I go back and watch the last 2 minutes of that movie every few months because I really love the ending a lot. It's where Anya Taylor-Joy, the girl from Split, it's where I first, I think, saw her in a movie, and I was like, whoa, yeah. So I highly recommend The Witch to anybody if you can deal with the dialogue, which I enjoyed. We were talking about The Conjuring earlier. The Conjuring it's okay.
I liked it.
It's not bad.
I feel like after it probably got shitty. I didn't. Really
Yeah, like I heard
after.
Sabir, he loves like horror movies, but in the Conjuring universe, but he hates the Nun, I think it was, and the new Annabelle.
I think everybody hated the Nun.
He said the new Annabelle was absolute garbage.
I feel like the first one was garbage too.
I didn't even watch it. I watched I watched Conjuring 1 and 2. That's it. Annihilation. Have you seen Annihilation?
Oh, that's the one with Natalie Portman.
Yeah. That
Creepy ass bear.
That bear, that fucking bear. Oh my god, that's one of the best scenes in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is unsettling, honestly. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see in the trailer because apparently it's in one of the trailers. I didn't know. That's why now I only watch like a teaser, the first trailer, and then once I'm like, I'm gonna see this movie, I don't watch anything else.
Yeah.
When I watched it in theaters and that fucking bear came up, I'm like, holy shit, that scared the fuck out of me, actually.
Yeah. So I got a good legend. El Silbón, the Whistler. It comes from Colombia, Venezuela.
Okay.
All right. So the origin story of this is this is the more brutal of the many origins, and it seems to be one of the more widely accepted ones. The son was a spoiled brat whose wish was catered to by his parents. One afternoon, he demands his father hunt for a deer for his favorite meat. When the father does not find a deer and returns empty-handed, his son kills him and cuts out his heart and liver, and he proceeds to force his mother to cook them for dinner. The mother, finding this meat is tough, starts to suspect something is amiss because she's not aware of that it's his body parts. She discovers these organs of her own husband's are innards and curses her son for eternity. At this point, most of the stories, they converge into one. The mother fetches a male relative, in most versions the grandfather, ties his son to a tree, and then he whips him. He finishes by rubbing lemon and hot peppers into the son's wound. The grandfather then unleashes a vicious dog and orders it to go after his grandson. This dog pursues the son relentlessly. His mother's curse transforms the son into a ghost. He is condemned to wander the plains carrying a sack of bones on his back. In some versions of the story, those are the bones of his father, so he has to carry his sins on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Others state that these are the bones of his victims. His ghost is described as being disproportionately skinny and extremely tall. And you got to consider this, South American people are typically not that tall. Like average height over there is probably like somewhere between 5'5" and 5'7".
Okay.
Versus, let's say here in North America and Canada and, most of Western Europe, it would be somewhere around 5'10" to 6 foot. That would be average height. Let's see. He towers over the treetops with his bag of bones slung over his back. The vicious dog chases him constantly, nipping at his heels. He wears a tattered white suit and a wide-brimmed hat. It is said that few people who have seen him have lived to tell about it. And then when he is nearby, he has a call. So he would go with the 7 basic notes, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And then no do at the end, only the beginning. He whistles these notes slowly, and each one is drawn out. And the way his location of where he is in proximity to you is, if he sounds like he's far away, he's extremely close. If he's far away, then he sounds like he's right next to you.
Holy shit.
So it's a psychological trick of his.
It'll make you walk towards him.
Yeah.
Instead of away from him.
Yeah, it could easily do that if somebody's not aware or informed. What is deadly is that most people do not become concerned about his whistling when it seems far away, so they ignore it. This is a mistake, for when they finally notice it is already too late. It is often mentioned his ghost hunts down cruel men who cheat on their wives. His ghost also attacks drunks when they are fast asleep. A gruesome detail shared states his ghost uncovers their belly buttons and then sucks it until the alcohol comes out of them. That's a weird one. That's just very, Hispanic.
See, this is one of the reasons why, I don't believe a lot of these or any of these really, but specifically like this one, is the target seems like women made that up to get it back at their husbands. There's this guy and he goes after men that cheat on their wives and men that get super drunk. So you better stay at home and treat me good, boy, because he could be after you. It's like how parents come up with the boogeyman.
Well, I
and
think
shit
that's
like
how
that.
they all originate, though. They start as stories like that.
That's the
Like,
thing.
like,
That's what I'm
like
saying.
those,
Like
yeah.
that's why I don't believe any of these paranormal things because a lot of them start out that same way. Where it's like, well, we're trying to condition someone's reactions this way. Like religion itself, organized religion itself, is a way to keep the poor and the masses down. Like, hey, if you guys, act out of line, you ain't gonna go to this heaven thing that we know about, and we know the rules. We can change them every now and again, like the fucking Catholic Church does every few decades or centuries. They change the rules for how to get into heaven and whatnot.
You remember when Homeboy posted the 99 Theses? Like,
Martin Luther.
Yeah.
I was there.
you were? Oh,
Was it
shit.
1500s, 1600s.
You want for a drink with him after?
Obviously not.
It's not a drink. It's more like water because, mead. There's another stipulation this page has that I've never seen before. He'll enter the houses of people at night and he lays his sack down and he begins to count the bones. If no one hears the clatter of the bones or notices his presence, then this means one person will die. It is always mentioned that there are ways for people to protect themselves from this ghost. One way is to remind him of his terrible crime and why he is cursed. Another way is to keep the items the whistler is most afraid of handy. That includes a whip, hot peppers, or a dog.
I have all those on me all the time, so I'm good.
Wait, you have a dog?
Yeah.
You know you had a dog.
Thunder's hat. I'm gonna show you.
Oh, fucking dog.
Honestly, remove the hat, Micah.
I do not have a dog, but I definitely have the hot peppers and the whip. Date night sometimes,
That makes sense.
You can get
We don't want to call it date night, but it makes sense.
Ah ha ha, ah ha ha ha. Douchebag. But how much we got?
We are 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Oh, fuck that. That's too long.
running long,
That's too long.
and we're not prepared. So next time we'll be prepared.
When they say we, once again, it's them too.
Yeah,
It's on them.
And by that, we won't be prepared at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Spooky outro.
the important part is it wasn't my fault.
Spooky outro. There you go. That's
I've got a nickel in my pocket. Oh.
Do, re, fa, sol,
Careful, phone's
la.
on.
You won't wait, we while we out. You fuck.
All right.
Come
Adios.
back next week for that toilet talk.
for the creepy outro.
Bloopers.
Ooh, the October podcast.
Oh, you sound like Pennywise.
Oh,
I don't know. I was just doing a voice. I don't
Pennywise
know.
did that voice.
I don't know
didn't
the
he?
characters. I
Yeah,
just
he
do
did. He
voices.
did.
It's that's the sound of blood
Welcome.
flowing into a gutter.
Oh yeah, if you're tuning in now, well not now, but if you heard
Now
the intro, the intro.
Alright, we're done. We're gonna do it again.
Ma, estamos grabando.
Okay, Ron, don't cut this out.
No, cut it out. Please cut it out. Yeah, definitely cut that shit out.
Cut out the blank spaces. Just leave it
Which
there.
Dark Souls is this?
This is Dark Souls 1.
Okay.
Yeah, this boss, I've been on him for way too long. And, yeah, he's pretty tough. And I made this game a lot harder for myself because I'm using a weapon where you need humanity and you need... And the weapon itself hurts you.
Wait, to use it hurts you?
Yeah,
Holy
so
shit.
like if you look at my health, yeah, you see like it went down as soon as I hit him.
Damn.
I don't know why I did this to myself.
You
I
wanted a
just thought Dark
challenge?
Souls was too easy, I guess.
All right. Start again.
Okay.